just when you thought gaming mice were slowing down, we got 3 banger mice, the Pulsar X2 Crazy Light, Lamzu Inca, and the new kid on the block, the Hitscan Hyperlite, that's taking the space by storm. I'm gonna take a look at these 3 claw grip mice, but one thing that they do have in common is their weight. They are all around 40 grams. So we're gonna talk about it today and see which one of these you should be picking up. So let's start with the Crazy Light X2. It's coming in with a fully enclosed plastic shell weighing in at 37 grams. It's medium sized and super well balanced. They were able to accomplish this by making their classic X cutout on the bottom of the mouse. Dimension-wise, I'd say it's similar to like a Razor Viper Mini or a Lamzu Atlantis Mini. It has this back hump design, which is super comfortable while being low profile compared to the other ones. So it just sits lower in your palm and it feels more maneuverable, if that makes sense, because the hump isn't so planted into your palm, but it does create enough stability. So if you need a stability on your shot, you have it. I really like to put my ring finger up near the front of the mouse while gliding. It gives you a great amount of control. That being said, it's not like a comfort monster like a Trinity CF or a Lamzu Atlantis or a Sora V2. Now they're using their optical switches here, and I think this was the one downside of Pulsar mice which kind of keeps me from using them, is their switches. Now, when I first got this mouse, I really didn't like the switches, but after a while now, after maining it for about a week and a half now, I actually have grown to quite like these, and I think that they broke in somehow. When I first got them, they had that Pulsar experience where they were flat, there's no cushion bottom out, you just felt like you were pressing plastic into plastic, but now I'm getting like a nice like cushion bottom out. So I don't know if it just loosened up a little bit and just snapped into awesome mode, but that's one thing to consider if you are looking into a Pulsar mouse. You might not like it in the beginning, but it will turn out quite nice in the end. The mouse skates are really nice and thick. I really like the scroll wheel, and the side buttons are actually not that bad. They have a little bit of like pre-travel, but there's a nice satisfying click there at the end. The coating is also really nice on it. I never had any issues with it. Hasn't degraded over time. It has a nice like matte smooth texture to it. There will be sound test, guys, so don't go too far from your seats. Now this is coming in at $120. You do get that 8K polling rate. You get the 3950 sensor in here. Overall, I really like this mouse, and now that the buttons have kind of broken in, it has become my main, and I've been switching back to this off the Trinity CF to this mouse because I really dig this shape. And also this does have like more wider sides. It's not as concave as some other mice, and I actually found that it is quite comfortable after prolonged use. Definitely not obnoxious, not super wide. It's like a perfect medium mouse. Now next up we have the Lamzu Inca. This is for those of you who love that ZA13. You guys are gonna feel right at home here. The measurements are pretty spot on when you look at ELO shapes. Big rounded hump with very concave sides. It's pretty much an exact copy of the ZA13. Now when I switched over to this mouse, first day I got hand cramps because you got that wide hump shooting out your palm, and then your fingers have to come in on the sides, and then your fingers. I got cramps, and after about an hour or my first map on Valorant, I was already cooked. Coming from the Crazy Light, which has the straighter sides, this mouse was cooking me. So it does take some getting used to, and it can be quite, I guess, uncomfortable in a way. But then again, some people do like this shape, and if you are coming from the ZA13, like I said, you're gonna feel right at home. It seems like Lamzu has changed their coating. I don't know if that's true, but it seems to be better than past offerings. And for instance, my hands are 19 by 8.5 centimeters, just to give you an example. This is a medium mouse overall, but like I said, those taper sides really can strain your hand because you're coming in so close. They're using Omron opticals for their switches. They sound quite like hollow or pingy in a way. They are okay, not as good as some of their other offerings in my opinion. The side buttons are done really nicely though. They're light, they're crispy. I really like those. The scroll wheel, again, feels really good. Then on the bottom, the mouse feet, which you apply yourself, also feel really nice as well. It's coming in at 40 grams, feels very well balanced. If you're looking for a ZA13 but don't want to use a 60-gram mouse, here's an exact replica at 40 grams. So like I said, this is vastly different than the Crazy Light we just looked at, as the hump is just way bigger, sits higher up in your palm. So for you claw grip users, it's gonna sit way higher. I wouldn't recommend this for fingertip grip, but the Crazy Light X2, you can definitely use this one fingertip because of that lower hump. Overall, out of the 3, this one is my least favorite, but that is just personal preference. Overall, it's been a fantastic mouse. Coming in at $120, it's not a bad pickup whatsoever because you're getting the 8000 Hz dongle in there as well. Next up, we have the Hitscan Hyperlite. I fell in love with this mouse. At first, it was a love or hate. I didn't immediately love it. I know there was a lot of hype. People were like, oh, it's the next Viper Mini. I don't think it's a Viper Mini at all. We'll get to that. But people really dig this mouse. It has the lightweight. I find this shape to be more of like a Viper V3 Pro Mini because the hump is more towards the middle, gradual fall off. The sides are a lot wider like the V3 Pro, whereas the Viper Minis are a lot more concave. So you're getting that flatter side. It's actually less fatiguing than, again, the Inca and that Z813 style. But this one you can also palm because it's in the middle, whereas the other two are more like claw grip centered mouse. You can also fingertip grip this one as well. I love these concave buttons. Of the three mice, these have my favorite buttons. The mouse 1 and 2 feel fantastic. The side buttons are light. They do have a little pre-travel on them, but nothing too crazy. Scroll wheel feels great as well. The mouse skis feel really good. Now this one is running at $85 or $90, but you don't get the dongle. You have to pay for that separately, another $25. So it's getting up there in price when you factor that in. I wish they would have just added the 8K dongle into the box. But in using the mouse, I didn't feel like I was missing the 8000 Hz or that it hindered me in any way. But I think if they would have put this at $90 with that 8000 Hz pulling rate, they would just destroy the competition because this shape is, in my opinion, the most comfortable out of the three shapes. The hump really locks into your palm really nicely. The comfort grooves on the mouse 1 and 2, the sides feel great. And like I said, it wasn't love at first sight. I didn't love it, but after a while of using it, after using the Trinity CF, I really dig this mouse, and I think it is my favorite mouse on this list today. So to summarize the shapes, back hump on the Inca if you really like that planted palm feeling. If you like a hump but less intrusive, definitely check out the X2 Crazy Light. And again, if you really like that Viper V3 shape but want something a little smaller, a little less big, you know, then I think the Hitscan Hyperlite is gonna do you just fine. But enough talking, let's do a sound test of all three of these mice so you guys can hear what they sound like. Oh yeah. You know, I was getting pretty bored of mice, you know, the input lag, and you know, I know some people are really into that, but for me, it's like, that's never helped me aim better. Like, what's gonna help me aim better has always been the shape, and I really like that we have some shapes now in a lower weight. So I wanna ask you guys, I wanna raise a question. Would you guys rather have these 40-gram mice or a really well-built 60-gram mouse? Now, I think that these are pretty well built, but somebody in my chat really raised that question. Do we actually need to go that light? 50 to 60 has been perfect for people. Are you guys using a 40-gram mouse? Do you prefer it, or would you rather have a really solidly built mouse like a Zowie mouse that just will last you forever? You don't have to worry about it. Where do you guys land on the weight debate? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the video there because all you need to know is all these perform really good, and the gaming aspect of it, I don't need to cover it because you can aim like a beast with any of these. It just depends on what shape you prefer. If I had to rank these myself, Hitscan first, Crazy Light, and then the Inca. All right, it has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.